Namaste, my beautiful souls. There will be no cards in this reading. And again, forgive me my voice, I'm still sick. But before I even start to say anything, this is one of those life-saving videos for you. So please save it somewhere, maybe download it, maybe save it, so you could come back to it, because I am going to talk about very, very serious things in this video. Things which many of you do not know. The problem is that I will be talking about manipulation, but what is really terrifying is that 80% of you have no idea that you might be manipulated. I'm not going to talk in this video only about manipulation in relationship. I will be talking about manipulation by anyone. And one of the subject I want to raise, and I want you to do your own research, is that reason I have already said many times, the reason why you choose a wrong man. After you choosing a wrong man, why do you choose to stay with a wrong man? Why do you allow a wrong man treat you wrong and you put up with all this? There is expression which is called running over their rakes. You know, if a rake is lying on the ground like this, if you step on it, it's gonna hit you really hard on your forehead. It's gonna hit you really hard, and it's gonna hurt. So in relationship, what happens is, what does it mean to run over the rakes? You choose the wrong person, and it hits you hard. You survive, and you can still stay with this person because of one reason. There was a great thinker and philosopher who said that, and also a psychologist and a psychiatrist, and I don't remember his name now, I think he was Canadian. He said, hope is the worst evil ever existed, because hope prolongs your suffering. After it hits you once, you hope that it happened just because of something, some chance, and you hope it's not going to happen again, and it happens again, and you hope again, and it happens again, and you hope again. Finally, at some point, you reach the rock bottom, and you crawl away from this wrong person. You put yourself together piece by piece, and then you choose yourself just a replica of that one. And some of you can constantly do this. And let's face this truth. Let's face this simple truth. If you come to a tarot reader, usually people come with questions connected with relationship. It means that things are not right in your life. Usually people come to a tarot reader usually with relationship question when things are not right. Also, people watch tarot readings on YouTube when things are not right in their love or relationship life. Let's face it. Let's be very clear here. A lot of my subscribers stay with me even after understanding and healing, because they love me, and I put a lot of information which can be useful even in those love relationship readings. But if you watch videos like this, he's not calling me for 14 years. Why? What is he thinking? Does he still love me? Then there is something wrong, not happy in your life happening. So the problem is that the true reader, a professional, its true reader is not gonna tell you just like you want to know what he thinks, what he's going to do, what he wants, what he wants not, what he hides. But a true reader like myself, I want to see the reasons why you have chosen this person and why this is already third person you have chosen of this kind. I want to see why. Because for you being miserable, unhappy, not having self-love, self-acceptance, self-value, please hear me right now. Please listen to this video 3 times. You loving yourself, you valuing yourself, you treasuring yourself, you accepting yourself is your key to not just beautiful relationships. It's your key to luck, to health, to miracle happening in your life, to abundance, to everything. Loving yourself is not just something, I just love yourself. This removes all the blockages. This is the reason why you find a tense job but get fired or someone treats you wrong. This is the reason why things are not working and you're not living a life you want to live. You're not loving yourself. Now, please hear me. Where is the roots of you not living your life the way you want, not treating yourself the way you should, choosing the wrong people who treat you wrong, hating yourself, neglecting yourself, disrespecting yourself, allowing everyone to treat you wrong? The root of this all, where is it? One word: childhood. Why so little people talk about it? Why 30, 40, 50 years old people of all over the world come to a psychologist, into therapy, and as soon as the therapist starts digging into how your mother treated you, the truth comes out that you have been brought up by narcissistic, cold, neglecting mother, or both mother and father. But in almost all over the world, it was rooted into us. It was beaten into us. The idea which is called sacred parentship or sacred motherhood. No matter what, don't talk bad about parents. Everywhere they teach you this. Respect your parents. Respect your parents, value your parents, and they constantly keep telling you, you owe your parents, you owe your parents, you owe your parents, you owe your parents, you owe your parents. Why? There is a story of a Bavarian girl whose mother was selling her to pedophile parties of very rich people since age 7. She barely survived. Her mother was getting money out of it. Should this girl be still owing her mother or respecting her or, leave paying her back? Of course, this is an extreme example. Most of us have not been into such extreme example as our parents were selling us. But your parents could have looked as saints to people outside. They could have looked absolutely perfect, because I know personally a woman who is now a couple years older than me, who was molested by her own father, and her sister was molested by her father. A father is a priest in one of the churches in California. When she was brave enough to tell a mother blamed her. I cannot tell you what followed. It was one abusive marriage when she was abused and treated horrifically. And then another narcissist psychopath. She barely survived. She was under a witness protection program. Police was protecting her. Of course, many of you might have less horrific examples, but manipulation and abuse you've experienced in your childhood, probably you probably have not even been abused physically, but psychological manipulation is a psychological abuse. If you are being psychologically, mentally, and emotionally abused for years, you believe that this is how the things are supposed to be. Your relationship is a mirror of your childhood treatment. Your relationship is a mirror of your childhood treatment. Your relationship, your problems in relationship is a mirror of your childhood treatment. Because if you were devalued, if you were constantly criticized, if you were constantly pressured and terrorized and demanded things all the time, you don't know nothing better than this. You have no idea what does it mean to be loved and accepted just because you just exist, just because you were born. You have no clue. So when you grow up, your subconscious has the structure of you to use a man who is going to treat you just exactly the same way as your parents, both or one of your parents, treated you. Please watch the videos if you were brought up by a mother narcissist or father narcissist or narcissistic parent. And it doesn't matter how old you are. This pattern, this structure which was got into you by force by your parents, does not go away. Even if you're 65, even if you're 75, you see the parents of this kind, they continue to manipulate you till either you're passing away from this world or they're passing away from this world. And because we were beaten into us the sacred motherhood, fatherhood, parents thing, we are terrified to even face the truth that our parents had treated us wrong. I know a man who is 56 now. I lived in Miami. This man was manipulated by his mother his entire life. He brought her to America. He purchased her a beautiful, beautiful apartment with the ocean view. He had his own restaurant. She had her own driver who took her everywhere. She had a housekeeper 5 times a day. 5 times a day, the fresh food was being brought into her house from the best restaurants. She had everything. When I met this woman, I didn't know nothing. When I met this woman, she told me all kinds of horrific things about her son, who did it all for her. You know why? Because he could not get married till he was almost 50 because she was destroying all his attempts to marry. Finally, he put his foot down when he finally married that woman. And his mother started to destroy her and this marriage because she was only wanting to have power of her son. He suddenly put his foot down because the guy went to a psychologist and started to face what was done to him. Then he put his mother separately, gave her everything under the sun, and said, Mother, I am 56, I have the right to build up my family. If you only could hear what she was saying about her son and this wife of his. They were evil, they were beasts, they were everything. This is what happens when one parent or both parents manipulate this victim child till the child is 40, 50 and says, what the hell, why? And puts the foot down and doesn't want to deal with it anymore. No, they provide everything they are supposed to provide to have their parents taken care of. And they refuse to communicate with the parents anymore because every time they call or every time they come, they only get nagging, blaming, criticizing, shame, guilt, shame, blame, criticizing, devaluing. Guilt, shame, blame, criticizing, devaluing everything else. And they tell them, okay, mother, father, you do it again. I don't want to listen to this. I don't want to listen that my husband or wife is piece of shit, that my kids are piece of shit, that I'm wrong. Everything I do is wrong. If you don't stop telling me this, I'm going to be away. But they don't stop. And such kids, they just refuse anymore to communicate with toxic parents. They are toxic. And guess what parents going to do? They're going to call everyone. They're going to talk to everyone, portraying their child as a beast with horns and claws, that they just, they dare to want to live their own life. I was in Uzbekistan, in Tashkent. This girl, you know what her mother and her grandmother did? Every time she was trying to build her own life, they would fake heart attack, and she kept running from one part of the city to another part of the city to supposedly dying grandmother and mother. They didn't want her to be married because grandmother was married to an alcoholic and abuser. And the same was with her mother. So both of them didn't want this girl to build her own happy family. They of course, they were telling her that they want the best. They wouldn't let her be with absolutely nobody. She was supposed to take care of these two elderly women 24 hours a day, and still she was blamed. She was criticized, and still this and this. So the root to you making wrong choices in your life and wrong relationship in your life is in your childhood, and probably your parents, even if you're 75 and your parents is 95, could be still doing this to you. And you hate yourself and you think you're crazy and you think you're worthless because they got it into your system. You're worthless. You will never be happy because you are worthless. You will never find a normal man. You will never do this. You will never do this. Some of you are European. You know actress Michelle Mercier, the movie, very famous movie, French movie called Angélique de Saint-Cyr de Montelou. The most beautiful woman in the world of her time, a ballerina, a movie star. Her beauty is enormous, perfection, but her own mother got into her head. You are a dirty whore. You will never build a family. You're not worth it. Guess what? She's 86 now. She had 4 or 5 very horrific abusive marriages, and she never had a family. Because this beauty movie star ballerina, who was the most beautiful woman in the world, was told by her mother that you're a dirty whore. You will never, you don't deserve it. This structure in you have to be changed into a different one. Into a different one. I deserve. I am good enough. I am smart enough. I am worthy enough. Another thing what this causes is you to constantly trying to deserve the love of your parents, and then you meet a guy, abusive, narcissistic person, and you're trying to deserve his love. You cannot deserve love. You can't, even if you cut your heart out. And such parents, they will never accept. You will never be good enough. You will never be kind enough. You will never be enough. You can build a Taj Mahal. You can get a medication for cancer treatment. They will find what to develop. They will devalue all your all your achievements. They will devalue. Mom, I got a Nobel Prize. A big deal. Some people get 5 of them. So I want you to please find yourself this book or similar book by Susan Forward, Overcoming Toxic Parents, Overcoming Their Hurtful Legacy, and Reclaiming Your Life. And look what it says right here. Did your parents tell you you were bad or worthless? Did your parents use psychological pain to discipline you? Did you have to take care of your parents because of their problems? Were you often frightened of your parents? Did your parents do anything to you that had to be kept secret? Now that you're an adult, do your parents still treat you as if you were a child? Do you have intense emotional or physical reactions after spending time with your parents? Do your parents control you with threats or guilt? Do they manipulate you? It says here with money, but they manipulate. Usually I see manipulation with guilt and blame. Do you feel that no matter what you do, it's never good enough for your parents? In this remarkable self-guide, Susan Forward, PhD, draws on case histories and the real-life voices of adult children of toxic parents to help you free yourself from the frustrating parents of your relationship with your parents and discover a new world of self-confidence, inner strength, and emotional independence. Not only that, or also, when you do this, you will stop choosing wrong men and giving them excuses, this is my soulmate or this is my twin flame, something like this. Now, I will explain you quickly. Manipulation. First of all, the victim of manipulation, and this is why you choose the wrong man. The thing is also, I want to mention, my beautiful queens, that removing those structures which your parents got into you by yourself, I wish it was possible. The thing is that I only see little cases of that possible. You need to get into therapy, and now you can even go Google like best psychologist online, and you can find anyone you like, try them for 1-2 sessions, and you can be in India, they can be in Australia. It doesn't matter. Because sometimes, because it was done to us, for some of us, for 50, 30, 40, 50 years, maybe more, it's impossible to remove in 1-3 sessions. It requires a therapy. Now I will give you the explanation of manipulation. Either it can be done by your partner or by your parents or by anyone. First of all, please hear me. You are not crazy. The victim of manipulation always thinks these 2 things. I am crazy, or something is wrong with me. I'm not worthy. I just don't have what it takes to be happy. I don't deserve it. You are not crazy, and nothing is wrong with you. You just a victim of manipulation. Manipulation is a hidden psychological method. It's hidden. It can be put up in front of you as if it was something good, because your parents, they I mean good to you. I'm the only one who wishes good to you. I really wish you to succeed. Bullshit. It's manipulation. So manipulation is hidden. This is why your emotional stage, your psychological and physical, everything tries to protect itself from this abuse, because manipulation is abuse. Please understand it. Manipulation is abuse. First, you try to resist manipulation. So again, it can be parent, can be boss, can be your partner. First, you try to resist. So you, like, the person devalues you, neglects you, treats you wrong, manipulates you. First, trying to talk to the abuser. You try to explain them, listen, but this is not right what you're doing. Of course, it's never gonna work. The narcissists, no matter it's your parents or your partner or your husband, please hear me, don't hear you. They don't hear you. Please hear me. They do not hear you. Anything you do to try to explain them something, they take as you are trying to excuse yourself, and this makes them feel more right. So please don't try to explain nothing to narcissists. It's useless. So first, you try to talk to them. You try to explain them what they do wrong, but it's not going to work. Second, you put up with it. You just say, okay, do whatever you want. I agree with everything. You start to agree with everything the manipulator, abuser tells you. You're worthless. Yeah, you're right. You're just not smart enough. Yeah, you're right. You just have no brain. Yeah, you're right. You will never be this because you don't have what it takes, because you are this. Yeah, you're right. Then you just put up with it. Number 3, you may uncontrollably, once in a while, maybe once in a 2-3 months, get into nervous breakdown. So you can start screaming, throwing things and breaking them, because your system tries to fight. Your system tries to save you from the abuser. It tries to awaken you. So, but you see, it's like you're beaten up, and your entire system tries to fight. So you get this uncontrollable emotional breakdowns, because especially if you're strong, bright personality, your whole psyche, your whole personality, it knows it's being suppressed and manipulated. It knows it's being suppressed and manipulated, but you staying, and those uncontrollable emotional breakdowns happen. And guess what? Manipulator just does this and says, you see, you're crazy. You see, you can't even deal with yourself. You see, you're crazy. And after that, you start more believing that you are crazy. Next, you trying to change yourself. You go to seminars of how to be a good wife, what you must do to have a man stay with you, what you must do to have a man value you, what you must do to have a man love you. Bullshit. If this is a beast, narcissistic, heartless, it's not gonna work. But your next step, you start trying to change yourself. The victim starts believing that everything is the victim's fault. You believe you are wrong. You believe you are not good enough. You believe you are crazy. You believe, so you start trying to change yourself to make it work. Is it gonna happen? No. Next, you start to devalue yourself. First, your abuser devalues you. Then you start devaluing yourself. And abusers and manipulators would devalue anything you achieve because they always want to see you under their feet. And parents do it all the time. Your own partners do it all the time. Oh, I've got this promotion. Oh, really? Did you sleep with your boss or did you pay someone? They devalue everything you do to bring you at the level of the dust. After a certain time being manipulated, you start doing this to yourself. You start devaluing your own achievement. You start devaluing your own talents. Another thing manipulator uses is comparison. Comparison of you and someone else. You know, it can be a movie star, it can be someone in TV, it can be neighbor, it can be daughter of those neighbors. It was done to me all the time, my whole life. She's her daughter became a surgeon. This is a good one, and this girl, she did this and this and this, and you what? I was always put down by being compared to all kinds of people who are better than me, richer than me, social status is better than me. So then with time, you start doing it to yourself. Then, of course, responsibility. A manipulator will never take responsibility over nothing. Remember, everything's going to be your fault, especially with manipulative parents. Everything's going to be your fault. They get sick, it's your fault. It's raining, it's your fault. The roof is broken, is your fault. The tea kettle is not working, your fault. Everything going to be your fault. Again, when you try to explain them something they don't hear, when you try to explain manipulator something, they hear you excusing yourself, means that you are guilty, mean they are right. The guilt, you start first, they put you in shame, blame, guilt trap, guilt trap, guilt trap. Then you start doing this to yourself even though you haven't done anything at all. Also, abusers use their false motivation, so-called. If only you did this, usually it's what they want you to do, then we would be happy or so on. What is the result of being manipulated by your parents for your entire life, or by your partner, or by a guy you choose and live with? Your personality get destroyed. You start considering yourself worthless, crazy, insane, not good enough, not smart enough, at the level of dust. You refuse from everything good in life because your self-value, self-love, and self-respect are non-existent. The only way to come out of it is completely come out of it, because you cannot change the manipulator. They will manipulate as long as they exist. Come out of it. Toxic people have to be out of your life. Save yourself. Otherwise, nothing's going to be left off of you. Nothing. And if it's your parents, make sure they have apartment, they have warmth, they have food, they have medical care, they have everything. But if they are toxic and keep on destroying you, you have to come out of this relationship and live your life, build yourself back, and do what you have come here to do into this life. This is all I wanted to say. Please treasure yourself. Namaste.